gonna be alright. Yeah. Cause me and my clique, we don't give a fuck. Trick Daddy, good job, good job. If you know that you can get it, let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. Let's go. If you know that you can get it, let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. If you want some, come get some.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to FTW Future Focus. We are back and on track. I am your not-so-humble correspondent, Robert Black, and I didn't mean for that to rhyme. Underneath me, we have the young lady from North Carolina, the queen of Motown Wrestling Group on Facebook, who is celebrating her 10th anniversary on that web particular page. She is the Tigress Ty Nickerson. How you doing? That's answer enough.
Y'all.
It's good to see you too, dear. And right in the middle of things, as always, he is the silent but deadly man from Chicago, Illinois, and he has about as much use for women's wrestling as I do for missing Thanksgiving. He is marvelous Marcus Buckley. How you doing, sir?
Fuck the Packers.
Yeah.
That is That's a Bobby Rogers answer. You got that right. Off to my opposite corner, he is the master of wine, women, song, and cigars, the president of Motown Wrestling Group on Facebook, and a man of style and sophistication. He is Tony Motown Allen. How's it going?
In the words of Marcus, fuck them Packers.
This is going to be a theme of our show today. As to my immediate catty corner, he is the founder of our feast. Speaking of Thanksgiving, indeed, a cornucopia of skills and trades to mention, not to mention being a former professional wrestler and current promoter of internet extraordinary entertainment galore. He is the mastermind, Bobby Rogers. How's it going, boss?
Fuck the Packers and fuck Royal Rumble tickets.
We'll get there. But I'm telling you,
turn this to a drinking game.
Well, we might end up doing that at some point.
That's
here.
An excellent idea.
Actually,
Well,
I need the ball for time at the dining room.
Well, you know, if we ever do have a watch along again, which, you know, we'd have to like turn the camera to face us and not what we're watching. Maybe we could do that for the Rumble, drinking game for the Rumble. We'll figure out the rules later, but Motown, we would have to use your bar because, you know, we usually BYOB, but last time for WrestleMania, I tried to make some cocktails and I got like 3 recipes, but they weren't all that great.
But no, we could definitely try to figure something out like that, though.
Yeah, exactly. I might try that again since you got a mixer. But anyway, we're gonna.
If it involves like bowling, tacos, or drinking, I'm in.
Sweet. I'm ready for a party. Speaking of parties, we're going to be hitting the ground running today because we have got predictions for AEW Full Gear, which is going to be happening on the 23rd. And we have we have a 0-hour match that involves QT Marshall. We don't give a damn. We're moving on.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Really.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. I'll put us on the board with that one because I want to. Okay, starting off with the AEW World Tag Team titles, a 4-way match. House of Black versus the Acclaimed versus Private Party versus the Outriders. And the Outriders. I wanted to make sure I got that right. And Ty, ladies first, we'll start with you. Who do you think takes this?
Private Party is retaining because number one, they have worked too hard and busted their ass to do the one thing no other tag team has done, and that was dethrone the Young Bucks and win those belts.
Mm.
They need to keep them, but they need to keep them belts warm. They need to keep them belts nice and hot to continue their tag team title reign. And for them to drop it to either the Outrunners, the Acclaimed, or the Kings of the Black Throne, they got to be damn fools for Private Party for them to drop it. So Private Party to retain. It's too
Yeah,
soon for them to take the belts off of them.
Yeah, I would have to agree. That makes the most sense. Private Party have really turned back on. They really should have never turned off to begin with, but
Exactly.
yeah, I love that team, always have, and now that they've gotten their proper flowers, it would be a shame to yank them away. Marcus, what say you?
I was going to say Private Party, but Ty said something that made me think. They would have to be damn fools to change it. Yeah, we're talking about Tony Khan's booking. I'm going with the Outliers, just based on what Ty said.
Damn.
Wow.
Because they're damn
I
fools.
should have at least rephrased that. I should have at least rephrased that and said, you know, if they had Private Party drop the titles to any one of those three, would have been idiotic. But
Well, Tony Khan is idiotic. That's one way we describe them. So I'm going with basically. Thanks for reminding me of that time.
Whoa, we made Marcus so mad he jumped. Well, he'll be back.
I didn't mean to make him that mad.
No, it's Tony Khan. Tony Khan makes it. Oh, okay, he's back. Okay.
Yeah.
No, we thought we'd pissed you off so much with just mentioning Tony Khan's booking that you bounced on us.
No, I tell people don't call me between 3 and 5 on Sundays, but they still do it anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's the Lord's Day. Don't be calling Mr. Naomi.
Yeah, people have called me during the show too. I don't appreciate it.
Don't answer it. That's the devil calling.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, it knocks me off all the time. I like don't call me doing, but oh well.
The only devil I want to call me on Sunday is one with a blue dress on. Devil with a blue dress. Oh, okay, enough of that. Tony, what do you think?
This is only reason I'm picking on this is because it's an easy one. Because I really don't give a fuck who wins this match. But I agree with Ty. It is way too early for them to drop the titles, and I don't think Tony Khan would even do that. Because that's one thing he never really does is like have short title reigns.
All right, Bobby, last call.
You just said the Outrunners versus Private Parts.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't understand this matchup. They just won the titles. Okay. The Outrunners are hilarious. I'll give it to them. Okay. 100%. Those guys are hilarious. But
strangely enough, they were the last New Wave Pro Tag Team Champions.
Yes. I was about to say that.
Yes. I did call a match for no, I've called like 2 or 3 matches for them.
This is what bothers me though. Why? We're gonna go over this later. I'm gonna hold my tongue until later. I really don't give a fuck about this match. I really don't give a shit. I really don't give a care. I really don't give a fuck. But I'm gonna go ahead and just pick Private Party or Private Parts or whatever you want to call them because they just won the titles and hopefully 9 times out of 10 they don't change the titles that quick. But you know, you never know. It's Tony Khan and it's AEW, so somebody could do a triple Lindy off of a fucking top rope and land on somebody and they win the title out of nowhere. But I'm gonna go pick Private Parts.
All right. Okay. Moving on, next match, Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. Revenge match from last month. And I'll go first on this one because I am sensing a pattern with this whole card that everything except one match is a singles contest. And I'm very surprised by that because usually with any given AEW card, you're looking at multi-men matches or multi-person matches, and we're not getting that with Full Gear. I'm wondering if
Good.
that's a shift.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, hopefully it would be
Please.
something new, a
Yeah.
very new approach with AEW. But when it comes to this match, I am going to give it to Ospreay because he's obviously a primetime player for the company. I don't think that they are moving Fletcher up. They just put him with Callis's family in order to turn Ospreay completely babyface, which they never really had him heel in the first place. He was always a tweener, but it's just to further the storyline and to break up the Aussie team that was going on. So I'm going to give this to Ospreay, and he's going to move on to bigger and better things. Motown, what do you think?
I'm going Ozzy. Oi, oi, oi.
Oh.
No, on
That's
this one,
both of them, though.
no, I know that exactly. So I would get it right no matter what.
That's something my best friend Mike McDaniel would do. So yeah.
But real quick, I already dropped one bottle today, Mom, and I'm working on another one. That's like not scoring brownie points on Mom. Honestly, I agree with Rob. Will Ospreay on this one. Time to end this feud and move on to bigger and better.
Okay, Mastermind.
I don't see nobody beating Ospreay. Ospreay is one of the few glimmering spectacles that AEW has. They shouldn't blow it. The key word is they shouldn't blow it. And I don't think there's anybody there besides a certain person that we'll talk about later that it really dethrone him because they think too highly of him. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll bow down and say Ospreay and hold my nose to it.
All right. Marcus, you feel the same way, or are you going to counter program again?
No. Now Fletcher should win this match to elevate him, but we know that AEW doesn't do 2-3 match programs. It's one and done. So based on that, I'm going with Ospreay.
Okay. Ty, you get the last word on this one.
Ospreay. It's about time for him to get his lit back and put this Dragon Ball Z feud, rivalry, whatever you want to call it, to an end.
Okay.
So I'm Team Ospreay.
Okay, well, that's unanimous. Next match on the docket. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF versus the Messiah, the Backbreaker, Roderick Strong. Mastermind, since you love Strong so much, I will let you eviscerate him first.
How the fuck do I like to love Strong? Fuck that measly little midget ass motherfucker. Him. If they even think, fuck him, fuck the Packers, and fuck Royal Rumble tickets. That's my three fuck you for today. How the fuck do you even put this dude in a match with somebody as good as MJF? Why are you wasting the fucking time putting him in the ring with MJF? This is a disgrace. MJF should fucking make Tony Khan fear for his life right now. Tony Khan should be sitting at his desk in Gorilla, and he should go up and say, "This is the stupidest fucking match that you put me in. I should kick your ass. Fuck you. I'm playing with children. I'm tired. I'm injured, and I'm going home."
And that's why the Mastermind goes first.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is the dumbest fucking match I've seen in my fucking life. They could be making so much money with him fighting somebody else. And they got him fucking around with this little goof fucking ball. This is the dumbest shit on earth. MJF better win. Like, everybody better run. Everybody that's watching TV, that's in the stadium, making popcorn, making hot dogs, serving drinks, security, police outside, even the crowd that's not even attending, to riot if MJF don't win.
Okay, we have one vote for MJF. Marcus, how do you feel, man?
Oh, I mean, I think it's going to be a good match, but the way they have booked Roddy Strong, there's no way he's winning this. So MJF.
Okay, fair enough. Ty?
Yeah, I agree with Marcus. I don't see Roderick Strong winning this.
I don't
Unless
even know why they're Strong's in the fucking match.
if anybody should have been in this match, it should have been Adam Cole, baby.
Baby.
Boom.
Thank you.
Should have been him versus MJF in this match.
And barely
I'm
him,
sorry, Roderick, but MJF's gonna tell your tail up.
It should be a 5-second fucking match.
Exactly.
Well, I don't have quite the negative feelings that Mastermind has for Roddy Strong, but I do agree with the inevitable outcome. I think MJF is going to win this. It's going to move on to Attica. I mean, the whole reason that this match is happening in the first place is to further the feud and between Cole and MJF because of the history they have there. Now that it's flip
should have been in the match
flopped,
in the first place. Adam Cole.
well, maybe, but I don't know why they don't want to do it at Full Gear. Maybe they're saving it for somewhere else down the line. But
I think they're saving it for somewhere else down the line, either
probably
or the next pay-per-view. I don't know. Ain't no telling.
No one
Well,
20
maybe.
car. He's saving it for 2 weeks on Dynamite.
They goofing the fuck off. That's what they doing.
Well, since they're trying to worry more about the ratings, you might be more right than you know. But I'm going to agree with the rest of the panel here. Probably MJF is going to win this. Motown, you win this one out.
I bet y'all thought this was going to be unanimous.
You got to be kidding.
Yeah, there's no way I'm picking Roddy Strong. Y'all thought it was going to be unanimous? Y'all were fucking right.
Okay, yeah, you had me for just a second.
No, I ain't that high, so yeah.
Yet. That's not an advocation, YouTube. We're just kidding, YouTube. Please.
Yeah, it's a
Keep
clean
the
sweep.
spirit on YouTube.
So that makes us unanimous, Mr. Friedman. All righty. Moving on to the next match, we will have Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley, which I find to be a very interesting match, and it might potentially be the match of the night. Motown, I'll let you give your opinion first here.
I am looking forward to this match. But this match could go like either way though, because it's like I wouldn't be mad at either one with. Like, of course, Swerve is my boy. No, Swerve is on the road. But Bobby Lashley's always been that guy though. Like, not. So it's kind of like I wouldn't be mad either way. I can see it going either way. No, I can see Swerve getting the win over Bobby Lashley. No, Bobby Lashley being new, but Bobby Lashley got big enough name to beat Swerve. But I'm hoping Swerve wins.
Okay.
And my tiebreaker on like going teetering back and forth over this, Swerve needs it more. He already lost 2 pay-per-views in a row back-to-back weeks. He can't return and lose again.
Back-to-back months, but yeah.
Can't do that. All in, all out. He's got to get something here. And win over back on track.
Bobby?
All right. This is the way I see it. This is going to be a damn good match. This will be match of the night. The rest of the card looks like fucking shit to me. But Bobby Lashley is going to be Swerve winning by disqualification, but Bobby Lashley and his boys is going to beat the shit out of him at the end. It's not going to be to where it's going to be a clean victory for Swerve Strickland and everybody celebrates and hug each other like they just won the fucking lottery. Swerve is going to pull out something, try to pin him. They're going to get mad. They're going to jump him, and they're going to beat him down. And he's going to get disqualified. Bobby's going to go get disqualified for going too far. And then that's where it's really going to spark this thing between them two. Win by DQ, Swerve Strickland. I think it's still shitty because I think he got fucked out of the last two fucking pay-per-views he was in. He should have won both of those with flying fucking colors. And now they let it pass right now. Okay, well, it's not one of our boys, so go ahead. You can get a win up at DQ. Fuck these bitches.
Ty?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go to Swerve. He lost 2 matches in the last 2 pay-per-views. It's time for Swerve's revenge. As much as I want to see Lashley win this, Swerve needs to get the momentum back. He already lost 2 pay-per-views in a row. He don't need to lose 3.
Okay, so Swerve for you.
Yep.
Okay.
Before we go on to the next person, and my mom's in the comments, she said, Steelers win. Tomlin's the greatest coach of all time.
Okay. Little equal opportunity NFL commentary here. Not a problem from our biggest fan. Huh?
I want to know who the Steelers won't beat.
They beat the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
That was a big.
That was huge because everybody's sleeping on Pittsburgh. They not for real. They're not this. They're not that. Oh, they're going to get exposed against Baltimore. Tomlin's the GOAT.
They just got Baltimore's number, man.
But Tomlin's the GOAT.
Well, like they say, any given Sunday, anybody can get beat if they screw around and find out.
Except if he don't want to work Tuesday.
They F around and find out.
Marcus, what do you think about Strickland and Lashley?
I was thinking the same scenario that Bobby said, that I think Swerve is going to win by DQ, but he gets the shit beat out of him by the Hurt Institute. Because I think one of the main reasons why those guys came to AEW, besides the money, obviously, is to get Swerve back over. I think that's one of the things they really want to do. And so I think this program is going to be prolonged for a little while. And Swerve, like you all said, he definitely needs a win right now. So I'm going Swerve by DQ.
Okay. All right. Well, this one is difficult for me because, number one, I don't think this match should be happening yet. Lashley should be fighting somebody else in order to get a first win on his debut here.
1,000% agree. 1,000% agree.
Yeah, and the panel is right that Swerve does need a win now, although I don't agree that the last 2 months. I mean, he had probably the greatest matches of the last 2 months in the pay-per-views that he was in. Swerve is so crazy over in AEW right now that he's a franchise player without a belt. He's an uncrowned champion. So, I mean, I am sorely tempted to say that this match should go Broadway and that there shouldn't be a winner. But just for the sake of argument, I am going to say Lashley gets this. Lashley catches Swerve, and Swerve goes berserk after the match and makes it personal against the Syndicate. And
you think Swerve is the one that's going to go nuts?
Yeah. Absolutely, because I mean, you guys said it yourself. He's lost the last two major pay-per-views he's been in. Third time's the charm. Swerve is going to go like 100% nuts, and he's going to turn into the chocolate Stone Cold.
Oh my god.
They're like, such a chocolate.
Yeah, he's going to attack. No, Swerve is going to go the friggin' nuts, and he's going to start attacking everybody, and he's going to start getting obsessed with getting his win back, and he's going to start with Lashley, Benjamin, and MVP. So all of this is that's just how I would do it, but maybe AEW's got another idea, or maybe a lack of idea if you ask Marcus. Moving on. For the well, no, it's not for a title yet. Hangman Adam Page versus Switchblade versus Switchblade White. I'm blanking on his first name now.
Jay.
Huh? What?
Jay White.
Jay, thank you. I'm sorry. My brain was trying to make a joke and I forgot the name Jay for whatever reason. But yes, Hangman Adam Page versus Switchblade Jay White. And let's start with Marcus this time.
Well, Jay White won last time, so I see Hangman getting his win back. So I'm going with Page.
Okay. I'll concur with that, actually. Hangman is probably going to win this because these two work well together, and they've got history with New Japan, and they're making new history with AEW. So, and they do a pretty good. They have a pretty damn good match together. So yeah, I'll give this one to Hangman Page. Ty, what do you think?
Hangman.
Okay, cool. Tony.
Same man. Ditto Marcus.
Okay. Bobby, since you might have a lot to unload on this one, I'll let you go last again on this.
What is the phrase that I'm thinking of when it comes to this? Oh, wait, hold on. It's coming. Wait. Oh. I don't give a fuck. Who gives a shit about this damn man? I don't give a fuck about this shit. Heyman shouldn't even have a fucking job. Heyman shouldn't even be at AEW. And Jay White, I'm sorry. Jay White is not the dude I want to look at when I think of New Japan. It's Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson is the better one out of the two, and they keep showcasing the fucking known midget. I'm so sick of this shit.
Well, granted, I would be interested to see Page and Robinson go nuts on each other. That would be fun, I have to admit.
I don't want to see that shit because to me, Page shouldn't even have a job. Page should be sitting at home wishing he was wrestling. And Jay White is wishing he could wrestle. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck. Fuck this match. Fuck the referee. Fuck Tony Khan for booking it. Fuck Jay White. Fuck New Japan for having both these motherfuckers in there. Fuck Hangman Page. Fuck all the shit that he put everybody through. I don't give a fuck. Fuck this shit.
And with that, we'll move on to our first title match, which will be for the AEW TNT title. Jungle Bitch Jack Perry versus Daniel Garcia. And I think I'll go first on this one because we might as well get the Jungle Bitch Whack Perry hatred out of the way first. I think that since the Young Bucks dropped the tag titles, we might be looking at Garcia getting the TNT championship here. So I was thinking that maybe Perry would retain before we started this review, but I'm changing my mind. I think that Daniel Garcia is going to get his first AEW championship at Full Gear. So I'm going with Garcia. Tony.
This could go either way, but I don't know. I'm leaning towards Jungle Bitch Whack Perry on this one.
All right.
As Garcia yet.
And as the originator of the nickname for said Jungle Bitch, Ty, your opinion is next.
God. I'm gonna have to choose Garcia. Look, Jungle Bitch. Sorry, Lord. Sorry, Mama Motown for cussing. But Whack Perry ain't got the elite to chill with and as a security blanket no more. Ever since the Bucks lost the title, they just dipped. So I think it's time for Whack Perry to dip with them too. So Garcia.
That does strike me as strange that maybe the headwinds that we've been looking for to have the elite basically delete from AEW may actually be happening here. Because there seems to be kind of a pattern. And with that in mind, the guy who would most love that, I'll let go next. Bobby Rogers, what do you think of this match, if
They
anything?
ain't disappearing nowhere. Fuck these bitches. Jack Perry is another one that shouldn't have a fucking job. Why the fucking keep wrestling? He shouldn't even be resting on a fucking pillow when you go to sleep at night. Who the fuck is this dude? I'm sorry, but who I want to win? It ain't fucking Jack Perry. I know that. I don't even go this far. I would rather pick Orange Cassidy to win that motherfucker. If he would have been fucking Jack Perry. So you know how the fuck I feel about Jack Perry.
Yes.
Fuck him. Fuck his fucking hairstyle. Fuck him being a dad show movie star. Fuck their referee. Fuck everything about this match too. This is another one I don't give a shit about. But as long as Jack Perry don't win, I'm cool.
Okay. All right. The man in the middle, Marcus, you get the last word on this match.
I'm going with Garcia. He seems to be getting a little bit of a push right now, and Perry is totally ineffective as a champion over the last couple of months with his belt. So it's time to move on from his dumb ass and go on to Garcia.
Fair enough. Our second title match for the TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné taking on Chris Statlander. I'll go first on. Did you want to go first, Ty?
Yes. Let me go first.
All right. Have at it. Eviscerate.
All right. Mine's gonna be a two-parter. Statlander wins. But there is a but. Camille, Durham native Camille, she's gonna turn on Mercedes. If she doesn't turn on her at Full Gear, she'll turn on her at Winter is Coming. So Statlander's gonna win, and Camille's gonna turn on Mercedes.
Huh. Okay. All right. I'll chime in next on this one. I'm picking Mercedes Moné to go over here because they're kind of they it doesn't seem like they can decide what they want to do with Statlander. They put her with Stokely Hathaway, and then she dumped Stokely Hathaway. I don't think they really know what to do with Statlander yet. And Mercedes is still kind of the focus of the women's division, so they're not going to take the title off of her. However, Ty, I do agree with you about Camille. I think that it's either going to be here or somewhere close where Camille gets sick of playing in Mercedes' shadow and like completely turns on her and dumps her on her head just so that she can get a title match for the TBS title, and so Camille can put herself on the map in AEW. That I certainly believe that is going to happen sooner than later. And now on to our native purveyor and lover of women's wrestling, Marcus. What do you think of this match?
I you know what? I actually kind of sort of want to. You know what? I'm gonna wait to take my piss and actually watch this match because I think it might even be decent.
Wow.
Yeah, I like Chris Statlander, so I'm actually going to watch this match. I think she's going to win. So, and I think I agree with you guys. I think what I think is going to happen is that she's going to get the title. They're going to take it off Monet, and so that she can do her feud with what's her name, Camille, and then move on to the world title. I think they've had her with the secondary title for a while, and because she's getting paid so much money and she's so high profile, she don't deserve it. I think they're going to move her on to going for that world title pretty soon. So I think now's a good time for her to drop that belt and move on.
Okay. Cool. Mastermind, how do you feel about Statlander and Mercedes?
Okay, I'm confused here. So please somebody straighten me out because, of course, some things in AEW I just don't pay fucking attention to, and this is one of them. Who is the champion in this? I thought Statlander was the AEW champion.
No, she's not.
Mariah May beat Timeout Tony Storm.
Okay. So Mariah May has the belt still.
Yeah.
So both Statlander and Mercedes is fighting for which side of the TBS title?
The Cartoon
Yes.
Network Championship.
Okay, so this kind of puts me in a different perspective. No, it actually doesn't. They need a title on Mercedes because of as much money they're spending on it. They need something. They're spending an ungodly amount of money. They spend way more money on her than they are her little play doll that she got back there is gonna kick her ass later. So I think Mercedes winning this, they're gonna play it off for a little bit, and then that's when she's gonna jump her and get mad because she tries to treat her like a little punk, and she's gonna find out that she ain't no punk. You come from the WWE, where you been baby yet? This girl come from the independents. This girl coming to beat your ass. She ain't here to play around. She want to fuck you up badly, and I mean real bad. I want to see her beat her so bad till it makes what Mariah May did to Tony Storm like a pat on their ass. I want her to stomp the shit out of her in that match. Mercedes is gonna take the TBS title, and then they're gonna battle over that for a little bit, about a couple of weeks, one turn. Mercedes will turn on and treat it like shit, and yeah, Camille's gonna come back and beat that ass. And this would probably get me to start watching AEW again.
Well, I do like Camille Brickhouse, and that's why she was that's why she was my number one draft for Leather and Lace. Motown gets the last word on this title match.
Y'all don't hear me say this often, but you're going to hear it right now. I agree with Bobby. On this one, they are invested. They do have way too much money in Mercedes Moné to have her drop the title to Chris Statlander. And the other reason is I don't think, as much as everybody loves Chris Statlander, as far as all us fans and everything, because how phenomenal she is in the ring, I don't think AEW have faith in her. I don't think AEW knows what to do with her.
AEW don't appreciate her.
Yeah. So for those reasons, I am going with Mercedes Moné. But that turn is coming. I don't think we'll see the full-fledged turn at this pay-per-view, but you'll start seeing the hints of it.
So
Okay.
possibly Camille hinting at turning on Mercedes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, it's gonna happen.
It's
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
if they smart, they just slow burn to it.
Yeah, Camille is too valuable to just be a bodyguard again. They tried that in the NWA with her being
Nick Aldis.
with Nick Aldis's bodyguard, which
Yeah.
you know that did work, but once they put the Burke on her, she was just incredibly unstoppable, and they need to replicate that in AEW because they could definitely build the women's division around Camille, Mercedes,
No.
Willow Nightingale, and Statlander. That's 4 good wrestlers there.
Hey, you missing them Chiefs Sky Blue.
Man,
Well,
no, come on,
Sky
man.
Blue.
Rob, 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
What's that?
I said 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
I guess.
Yeah,
And
I don't put Mercedes in there at all.
well, I mean, I mean, if we're talking franchise and
Franchise, definitely in there just for the money they invested her.
yeah, I mean, if it were me, I could also throw Sky Blue in there, and definitely Sheeta, my girl Sheeta. I would throw her in there. Absolutely.
What about oh God, what's her name? What happened to
The
Serena
Queen?
Deeb? Serena Deeb.
Serena, well, yeah. I mean, there are okay. This is the thing about AEW's women's division.
It's fucked up.
The booking is fucked up. The talent is top notch. They have never properly organized that division. It needs organization, it needs follow through, and they need to utilize the talent they have. They're an ROH both. They've got Athena, for God's sake. I love Athena. And they've also got access to New Japan and the Strong Dojo in California. They should have the best women's division in wrestling, but they don't because it's not organized enough.
But they do have this stuff with women's division. They have the best women's ass division. Oh my God, there's nothing but cake in AEW. I swear that's how Tony Khan's recruiting. You got a nice ass, join this division.
I'm not so sure about.
And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. Wow.
Oh, good Lord.
And our main event for AEW Full Gear for the AEW World Title, Jon Moxley defending against Orange Cassidy. And since I think we know what we'll let Motown go first since he's volunteering.
This only reason I'm not giving this I don't give a fuck is because it is for the world title, so I should give a little bit of fuck for this. Just a little. Fuck this match and fuck Orange Cassidy. Fuck you, Orange Cassidy, and fuck you, Orange Cassidy. You know why I'm saying fuck you, Orange Cassidy? Because you're making me pick Jon Moxley. There's about 2 motherfuckers they could have put against Moxley to make me pick Moxley. This bitch right here and Darby Allin.
Wow. Okay. All right. I'm expecting this is what I'm expecting from the panel, which it's consistent. It's consistent. And huh?
Cassidy. Of all people, Moxley just fucking knocked out Daniel Bryan and retired his ass, and we followed that shit up with Orange Cassidy.
Well, okay. Well, since we know where this is going, Bobby, you might as well go next.
This right here, Full Gear, and I'm being dead serious, is gonna go down as one of the most embarrassing and the most terrible days in wrestling when it comes to actual professional wrestling. This match being made was already a blackout on the industry. And what's gonna happen is John Moxley's gonna beat him to death. He's gonna keep coming back. And he's gonna pull out a unseen, unprovoked victory out of nowhere to have a feel-good movement as him being the AEW champion when he shouldn't even be fucking wrestling in wet paper bags. Jim Cornette is gonna go so fucking nuts over this fucking win that Orange Cassidy is about to get, because this is what it's all set up to be. You go from Daniel Bryan, one of the best wrestlers in the fucking world, to pick this piece of shit Orange Cassidy. I don't know what the. This is Tony Khan fucking shit up again because he wants his boy up to be champion. That is and guess what? It all goes down the line. Think about it. Young Bucks is his buddies. So guess what? They ain't got a problem with him. Moxley likes him. They ain't got a problem with him. Daniel Bryan, he's cool with him. They ain't got a problem. Let him be champion when he shouldn't even hold the I am a hall monitor badge, let alone an AEW Wrestling Championship. What the fuck? We are about to see the biggest joke in fucking wrestling history come around in Full Gear. Orange Cassidy for the win, and the professional wrestling business starts to decline right then and there.
Well, at least it's not Tyson versus Jake Paul.
No, I would rather watch that than that shit.
I'm just being a dick. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's
God, this is gonna be terrible.
That's
is
way
terrible,
too soon.
man. I'm sorry. This is, mark my words, it's 11/17/2024, 4:32 p.m. Mark my words. It is going to be where he is getting his ass kicked. He is going to be bloody as fuck. And he's going to come back out of nowhere to win that title. And it's the most disgusting thing that's going to happen in a professional wrestling. You will see everybody, except those people that like Orange Cassidy, saying, what the fuck is this shit?
Wow, I knew you were going to be rough, but I wasn't expecting that.
No,
Maybe
wow.
we're moving to the next person because y'all talked about Tyson and what Paul. I just want to right now give my sincere thank you and I love you. I don't know what I did, but y'all the GOATs in my eyes. Fuck what everybody say about y'all Netflix. I love you, Netflix. I had no streaming issues whatsoever. I heard everybody bitching about how awful it is, and I'm sitting there loving you, Netflix. Thank you for blessing me and probably 5 other people with a good stream on that.
You placed a bet on Jake Paul winning, didn't you?
No, I would have picked Tyson.
Oh, okay. All right. For a second there, I thought you made a shitload of money, and that's why you were happy.
No, here's why I picked Tyson. I would have picked Tyson. I put money on it. He was on the dog.
Well, all right. Well, that's a discussion for another day. In the meantime, Marcus, who do you got in the main event?
You know, I would make this match my take a piss match, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hold it to the end of the show. That's the only I'm thinking that because I really don't give a fuck about this match. The only reason I'm glad this match is happening because I can't wait to listen to Cornette's review. That's the only reason. Only reason he is going to blow a gasket. I can't wait to hear this shit. But I mean, I guess I'll pick Moxley. I really don't. I've never said that about a world title match, but I really don't give a fuck. But give me, I guess, my.
Okay, Ty, I'm going to let you go next, and then I've got to go last here, if you don't mind.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about this match.
And I'm not going to give you any guff for that. You said what you said, and I'm not going to argue with you.
Listen, hear me out. The reason I don't give a shit about this match is because out of all the people they put Moxley with, they pick Orange Cassidy. Really? I'd rather watch Jericho versus Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 12 than watch Moxley versus Cassidy.
You said Jericho and who?
Kenny Omega.
I said I'd rather watch Jericho versus Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 12 than watch Moxley and Cassidy.
She ready to watch Jericho versus Omega in an all wrestling match in her bedroom. Don't let her fool y'all.
What?
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus.
Hey, Ty, you know how much I hate this match? I would rather watch the Brooklyn Brawler versus the Goblin Googler than this fucking match.
Wow. Holy shitballs. Okay. See, this is why I wanted to go last, because out of everyone on this panel, and I honestly, I love this panel. Every week I come on here and I can't wait to interact with my friends and talk about professional wrestling. But I understand why everybody on here hates Orange Cassidy. I used to be that way. And when he starts fiddle farting around with the way that he got over in the first place, I agree with you. But there are times when Cassidy, when he turns it on and he's serious, when he kicks ass. Now, I'm not saying that you guys are going to be wrong. You might very well in the end up being right if they do this match wrong. But Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin too have built their reputations as the ultimate underdogs because of the way they look, because of their gimmicks and how small they are. I get it. But I can't sleep on Orange Cassidy when he turns it up. The man is capable of having a great match, and I'm picking Moxley for this because he's crazy over right now with the belt. They are trying to make him the ultimate badass heel of AEW, to take on all comers, to be that champion. And
sorry, guys. I don't want to interrupt, but I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
I'll do my tap out and moment of the week when I get back.
Okay, no problem.
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, I'm stealing Nikita Lyons' outfit to model for my side boo. We will stall just for that purpose. Please.
Now, I'm picking Moxley here, and I partially agree with Bobby that Moxley is going to beat Orange Cassidy, for lack of a better word, to a pulp. But Moxley is going to win this thing, and he's going to make Cassidy, he's going to turn Cassidy into the AEW version of Mikey Whipwreck. The miracle of Orange, I guess is what you would call it. He's going to beat him so damn bad that people are going to want him to win, but he's just not going to, and Moxley is going to have to choke him out to his last breath. I don't think this is going to be a horrible match, guys. I think Cassidy's going to turn it on. I think that Moxley is going to be pushed to his limit, and that in the end, it's going to make both of them look better than you think they will. But that's just me, and I'm the panel's AEW apologist here. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this will be the disaster you guys think it will, but I'm not convinced. I think that Cassidy is going to turn it on, and we're going to see something great here in spite of itself.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, me too, because otherwise I'm going to look like a complete jackass for defending it.
I look at AEW this. There have been times that we was like, I don't give a fuck about this match, and then when they actually put together, it actually turns out pretty decent though. So with this being the main event, hopefully this is that case.
Let me ask a question.
All right.
Am I the only one that picked Orange Cassidy to win?
Yes.
Okay. Time to make history.
Well, I mean, Bobby, if you turn out to be right on this one, then I'll be the first to congratulate you, because I don't think it would be a don't think it would be a good idea at this point to have the underdog win against Moxley, because he's so like hot with the title right now. That would be a flash in the pan. That would be a huge mistake, in my opinion, especially considering that Moxley was the same guy who beat Cassidy for the international title. So I don't think it would. I don't think that it would necessarily fly here. I mean, maybe
especially after he retired Danielson in that match.
Yeah. And after that incredible match last month, I don't think, no, it would be a huge mistake. Maybe a year from now if they built up Cassidy to it, but not now.
Yeah.
Let me explain why I say it's going to happen. I'm not saying that it might happen. I am so sure it's going to happen. First of all, besides Tony Khan, thinking Orange Cassidy is a little butt buddy and everything, okay? You have to understand this. You have a card. Look at the card itself. You have a bunch of average matches going on. You have WWE kicking you in the ass right now. No matter how much you like AEW, you got to admit, they're kicking the ass right now, okay? Storyline-wise especially. So, to have everyone change that channel and then say, hold the fuck up, or to even try to think that they're going to get a spark, it is the Mick Foley effect. It is the same exact thing that they're setting up. This is WCW versus WWE all over again. WCW was kicking their ass for 82 weeks, and then all of a sudden, Mick Foley wins the championship, and they think this is going to have the same effect for everybody trying to die, which they don't realize. Orange Cassidy is not the man to do that. They're going to try, but Orange Cassidy is not the man to do that. It is the Mick Foley effect all day long, and they're going to fail at it. I'm telling you, watch Cassidy walk out that main event with that title. Guaranteed. I'm guaranteeing that one.
Well, there are some things I disagree with in that statement, but the one thing I do agree with is that Orange Cassidy is not the man. I don't think that he is going to be the man in AEW, at least not for a long time.
He's going to walk out with that title next Saturday, I'm telling you. He's gonna moonwalk out there. He's going to put on a Michael Jackson glove, the fucking short pants, the fucking penny loafers, have that hat cocked up to the front, and moonwalk out of that motherfucker with the title. Tell me.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. I mean, I don't.
If you grab his crotch and say "hee," I won't be surprised.
And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus, the Michael Jackson edition. Okay. Ty is not back yet, so we will move on to our tap out of the week, and we will, of course, start with the purveyor and inventor of You Tapped Out. It'll be Marvelous Marcus Buckley. What was your tap out this week, brother?
I said, like I told you guys in the pre-show, I got about 4 or 5, and 2 of them are really glaring. But I'll go ahead and go with one. And this happened 2 weeks ago with Kevin Owens pile driving Randy Orton. Now, they have been, for the last 2 weeks, they've been saying the pile driver has been banned from WWE for 20 years. Does anybody else remember that shit? Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't a tombstone nothing but a pile driver?
No, they talk about the traditional Paul Orndorff pile driver.
But see, here's the thing. That wasn't an Orndorff pile driver. All Kevin Owens did was fell back on his ass.
No. I'm just saying, for like
No.
difference. I'm not saying that was it.
I know, well, you know what? I don't even remember the pile driver being banned. But regardless of that, that was one of the weakest, lamest ass pile drivers I've ever seen. And for a guy like Randy Orton to be going into convulsions and shaking on the gurney and all that shit off a pile driver, not a pile driver on a concrete, not the pile driver on a chair, but a simple pile driver on a mat. Are y'all fucking kidding me? No, absolutely not. That was a huge tap out for that shit. Huge tap out.
Okay. Mastermind, what do you got for tap out this week?
Mine is a little different. Even though I agree with Marcus 100% on this, it's something way more serious is going on that we'll be talking about a little later. My tap out moment is for the WWE. Well, I can't say WWE. Let's say TKO. That was ridiculous what they're doing at Lucas Oil Stadium for Royal Rumble.
Mm.
I'm not going to give away too much. I'm going to say that's my tap out in a moment, and I will explain it when we start discussing it later.
Okay, yeah, that's one of our subjects, so fair enough. Motown, what you got for tap out?
I agree with Marcus, so I'm gonna make my tap out. That fucking bitch Hulk Hogan. Again. Here's the reason why.
What did the Hulk Hogan do to you? What did the Hulk Hogan do to you?
Fuck the Hulk Hogan. Fuck the Hulk Hogan. We had a thing in Motown's wrestler group, like which one of these groups could you do without? And I picked the NWO.
Oh yeah.
And one of the guys, was not shocked that I picked them, but then I had to admit that, like, as much as I fuck the Hulk Hogan, fuck the Hulk Hogan. I had to admit that I didn't like Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah.
And he knows how much I hate Hogan, and I let that slip out. I felt this is like my therapy right now. I let it slip. that there was a moment that I liked Hogan. It was like he had a long career, so the moments were like really small because it was only like a year and a half.
Mm.
But fuck you, Hulk Hogan. He's my tap out.
Yeah, share it, let it out.
But the power driver thing, no, Marcus on point on that though.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do vaguely remember that they did mention something about that, like around that time frame that you were talking about 20 years ago. They said that they were getting rid of pile drivers, or like slowly phasing them out, or using them very little after Austin and Owen Hart. But the
crazy thing is, though, they banned the regular power driver. Undertaker still to do the tombstone, which is what Austin got hurt on.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's like they used that match as a reason to ban the power driver, but you didn't ban the one that did it.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole reason that happened is because Owen did it wrong. He was supposed to come down on his knees, but he delivered a tombstone like a Orndorff pile driver, and you can't do that.
Yeah.
That was the big mistake he made in that match. My tap out moment this week actually is related to my moment of the week, and it has to do with certain rumors considering WWE staffing. The tap out part, which is part one, has to do with the rumor that Triple H, Paul Levesque, may be on his way out of WWE starting in 2025. This rumor has been repeated like 3 or 4 times. I'm not really sure where it came from, but considering my part two in my moment, it's if it came from the same place as that, then it's possible that this could be true. And if it is, then it's something that really pisses me off. Because as much as I don't believe that Triple H has any, and I've said this many a time on this program, that I don't believe that Triple H has any real stroke in TKO because he's at the bottom of the totem pole and that he's only like the figurehead of creative. It is still a crappy thing that now that TKO is probably going to get their money back through Netflix automatically due to whatever deal they've signed with them to get Raw, that they would automatically dump technically the last person in the McMahon family in order to just get rid of them and be done with it. And the fact that Vince McMahon himself recently had a breakfast meeting under the radar with the CEO of Endeavor, and he blew it off like it was nothing. That leads me to believe that something really stinks behind the scenes of WWE, and that in this particular instance, if I'm right, I really hate the idea that I might be right. And I'm not happy about this situation at all if it turns out to be a true rumor. Now, none of that has been confirmed yet, unlike my moment of the week, but for the part one, the tap out on these rumors, I am not happy at all that they may be muscling Triple H out, even though I've never agreed that he has any real power. So that's my tap out.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, Ty is not back yet. She may be dealing with something, so we will move on to a moment of the week. Mastermind, what made you happy, if anything?
No.
You have no moment of the week?
No.
Oh, man. I am sorry to hear that. Damn. Well, okay. Moving on. Motown, what do you have for moment?
My mom, it's SmackDown. I'm looking for a SmackDown with the OG bloodline. I mean, I like Jay. I mean, Jay has really developed as a individual character, and even though they got them back together, he's still looking like a star. The whole Paul Heyman saga thing. I mean, I'm just enjoying what they're doing here and how they've been bringing up the new bloodline, everything, getting the good moments, good wins on them. I mean, I'm just enjoying this feud right now. Slight thing I don't like is the fifth person on each team, but get rid of that. Everything's going good.
Are you referring to Sami Zayn?
I'll talk about Sami Zayn. Sammy not as much as like when they bring somebody else in, because Sammy was at least in the bloodline, but like they got Bronson Reed, and then more than likely they're gonna bring in Seth Rollins. You're bringing in people that had nothing to do with this at all. Like,
well, that's people who fought the blood. Well, Zayn and Rollins fought the bloodline, but Bronson Reed had nothing to do with it.
yeah, and the only reason up in it because it's feud with Bronson Reed, which had nothing to do with. I just think they should have just made it 4-on-4 and called it a day.
Well, not that I really cared. I mean, I'm basically over the bloodline. They've been dragging this shit out for 2 years, 2.5 almost, and this I mean, as over as it might be with a few people, it's gotten into NWO 1999 territory. I just don't care anymore. Marcus, your moment.
Oh, sorry about that. My moment. Oh, damn. My moment was, it wasn't on any show or anything like that. It was just the reports that Triple H had did a double taping of Raw and SmackDown to give the talent the holidays off.
Yeah,
I
I heard.
think that was really cool to do. Because I think it's always great. The best bosses are people who did the job that the regular folks did, and I think by him being a wrestler, he understands how strenuous the travel of WWE was, and how the wrestlers want to be home for the holiday for their family. So I think that's great, and he's supposed to be doing it again toward Christmas, doing a double taping so they can have the holiday week off. So I just think that's really cool and good for the morale of the wrestlers. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that ties in with my tap out. That's very
No,
cool,
No,
Marcus.
that is a really good one. I heard that announcement too, though. And that is good shit for the talent. Definitely.
Yeah, and they deserve it too.
Yeah,
As much crap as I give WWE on a weekly basis, as you know, I make it a point to never blame the boys, because the booking and the company strategy is never their fault. They're just out there doing their job, making a living, and they deserve a break. So thank you for reminding us of that, Marcus. That was a really good moment. My moment is the part 2 of my tap out, which is the leave of absence of Bruce Pritchard and Michael P.S. Hayes. If specifically Bruce Pritchard being gone, that to me is a good sign. As much as I don't like the idea that TKO could be pushing out and screwing Triple H, even though I don't think that he has a whole lot of power to begin with, Bruce Pritchard, on the other hand, does. In the back, he's got a lot of clout, and he is like Vince McMahon's doppelganger, an inside man inside TKO. And if he is leaving that as well, that might be a sign that WWE may clean the whole slate, and somebody else may go into creative that might actually push WWE in a direction that I would approve of. That to me is good news. Now, Michael Hayes, I don't have a problem with, because he has a different creative direction, and he might be taking a leave of absence to deal with personal problems. At least that's part of the rumor. But what is not a rumor is that both Hayes and Pritchard are on leave, and they say that it's temporary, quote unquote temporary. Hopefully, in the case of Brother Love, it is not going to be temporary, because Bruce Pritchard is just somebody that creatively I find just as distasteful as Vince Russo, if not more so, because he just fuels into this all sizzle, no steak sports entertainment bullshit that we've been trying to get away from for decades. And I don't want him in a position of power any damn more. So sayonara, Brother Love. Hopefully the door don't hit you in the ass, so we don't have to disinfect the doorknob.
But he loves you.
Well, like WrestleMania 5 with Morton Downey Jr., a guy who dressed like that, I don't want to love me. And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. I got 2 today.
That's what you said.
Thank you for joining us on it. Bobby with that one cheek snake. Oh,
Put it
man.
on her light. Done.
And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. Oh,
All
man.
right, guys.
Bobby, just one quick thing. Is Ty back in the studio? Are we missing her?
No, she's not in the studio.
Oh,
Oh, okay. All right.
Hey, you skipped the part though.
I did?
Yep. I gotta do this one thing though. You forgot my part.
You said you didn't have a moment of the week.
No. It was actually it was actually before. You look at the schedule? You don't love me no more.
No. You said you did your tap out, which goes into one of our segments, but you said I asked you if you had a moment of the week, and you said absolutely nothing.
No, it wasn't a moment of the week. It was a commercial.
Well, go ahead then.
Wait,
You know
I gotta
what I
run
mean?
real quick. I'm gonna try to jump back on, but I gotta run real quick. Okay.
All right. I guess we'll be the three privateers for a minute, but no, Bobby, if you got a moment, share it.
Well, what I was gonna say was, since nobody loves me anymore.
Oh, now come on! Everybody loves the mastermind. Yeah,
No.
no. Look at the playback later. You told me absolutely nothing for moment of the week. I did ask you.
No, I know that, but in the schedule I had the commercials because we got some guys that are actually tuning in, checking us out, and I want to give a shout out to them.
Okay.
And they got a spot over on High School Road, in Washington. Basically, they are the meat shop. The meat shop of Indianapolis over on 1221 South High School Road, Indianapolis. I'm telling you, if you got any taste for meat, that's where you go. Ladies, go there. They got all types of meat for you. Basically, over there at 1221, they got different packages. I mean, if you want to go ahead and fill your freezer full of steak, hamburger, uh, almost anything you can think of, they have it there. They have specials on Mondays where you get $2 off a pound on steak and things of that nature. So it's definitely a place to check out. 1221 South High School Road, Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm telling you, we talking about Don Moxley beating down Orange Cassidy. You can't beat their meat. I can tell you that right now.
And that's the meat shop, right?
Yep.
Excellent. Meat shop, Indianapolis, Indiana. And I didn't miss that. Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus, the meat-filled edition. That's what she said. I'll add another one just for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Okay. Our next subject for the three privateers, we'll get to the rest of the crew later. The question was shared. Should TV deals in wrestling mean more than just live shows? Bobby, I believe you put this on the agenda, so I'll let you go first so that you can kind of explain what we're talking about here.
Okay. What we're talking about here is there seems to be a trend. And the trend doesn't so much have to do with attendance and live shows. Usually what happens is back in the day, WCW, WWF will measure their success by how many people they put the seats in each building. It was attendance. It was participation. It was how the crowd reacted, things of that nature. But nowadays, it seems like the game has changed. The game is slowly changing to what TV deal can you come up with, and that makes you successful. The question I have for the panel is basically, what do you think personally is more? Do you think that a live show crowd is more, or do you think a TV deal is more? So, Marcus, I'm going to have you go first on this.
Well, I think nowadays it's without question the TV deals. I mean, first of all, let's look at it. Okay, we don't have for the most part, we don't have house shows anymore, which I know is going to tie into our next subject, I'm assuming, but that's for one thing. And you just look at how TV shows are produced now, and the content on TV shows. Most TV shows, you look back in the day, the TBS show, Superstars, All Star Wrestling, etc. For the most part, they were a big commercial for the live event. That's what that generally was for. I mean, I used to look forward to the promos to see what the house show was going to be. I used to wish I lived in like Baltimore or Atlanta back in the day to see Ric Flair live and to see who was wrestling, because it was very rare to see Ric Flair do anything but a promo back in the day. But now that's totally changed to where the Raw and SmackDown is better than a house show, and and they make most of their money. Well, before the TV deals, they made most of their money off pay-per-views before PLEs. So I think, and plus, more people watch TV than go see TV, go see the wrestling match. So this being 2024, the way things are now, absolutely, TV deal is more important than the live gate.
Okay.
Or you add one more thing to it. The wrestlers usually get paid by the attendance at the live gate. Now,
right.
you've got these contracts now to, it don't matter where it's 10 or 10,000 at a gate, except for if you take away merchandise sales, they're getting, the wrestlers are getting the same anyway. So the live gate definitely isn't as important anymore, except for merchandise.
That's true.
Well,
Rob, go ahead.
as much as I regret it, I do have to agree with Marcus. He is spot on. Having a TV deal in 2024 for a wrestling promotion is basically life or death. I mean, the only place that really relies on live gates anymore are the independent circuit. That's the lifeblood of independent wrestling is the live gate, because they they are the last vestige of the territories era. And the reason that the reason that independent wrestling is trying to branch out into streaming as much as they do is so that they can bring live gates as much as possible. That's their bread and butter. But when it comes to a major wrestling promotion, it is all about the TV deal. I mean, look at AEW for a good example. I mean, Marcus, you and I have gone round and round about AEW's attendance or lack thereof, and how much it matters, and whether the ratings and the attendance makes a difference. But according to what we're talking about here, selling AEW's media rights almost makes up for that, in the fact that they got a deal, a renewed deal with Time Warner, and with Warner Brothers Discovery rather, and it is a huge deal that basically whatever they haven't made up for in like attendance sales and TV ratings, they made up for in media rights, which WWE is playing that game too now. Why else put Raw on Netflix behind a paywall after it's been free for 30 years, and on free cable for 30 years on the USA Network? You still got to have a subscription to get cable, but why else put that behind a paywall unless they were getting big bucks from Netflix just to have them on there? Nowadays, if you are a huge promotion of any kind, not just wrestling, but it's becoming a trend in all sports and entertainment in general, is if you can get an exclusive deal to run on a streaming service or run on a specific network, if you can get the contract first to sell the rights first, then you're in the clear as far as who is actually watching or why. And, ratings may be going obsolete because of that. Now, to piggyback onto that of what you were saying before, Marcus and Mastermind both, the idea that studio wrestling used to be an infomercial for live gates, I wish that the independent circuit could bring that back a little bit. I wish that we could have something like primetime wrestling back. Because if you remember, before Monday Night Raw, prime time was how we got all of our news. That's how we knew about all the feuds. If you watched All American Wrestling and you watched prime time, you knew everything that was going on. You knew about every rivalry across the whole board in the whole promotion. And I wish that we could bring that back for the independent circuit, especially with streaming services now. You could have more storylines on the independents. You could have just more availability to the content if they took the business model from the 80s and applied it to the independent circuit. I think that might be the direction we're going in the future. At least I hope. So that's my broad assessment of that. Bobby, if you want the last word on this before we get Ty and Tony back.
My thing is live sells me more.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why. And sitting in the back watching shows and organizing shows. I mean, the media, let's not get it wrong. I was nowhere near the level of WWE. I was nowhere near the level of a lot of these places.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the type of guy, if you watch this program, you know this, that I think about how is the most money I can make off of my efforts, period. I don't try to go halfway. I want the most that I can get out of any day. My thing is, the thing that brought the TV rights, people wanting to shoot it on TV anyway, was because of participation in the crowd. Was because these people came through and sold out these buildings. Was because of what they would talk about when they would lift them arenas and tell their friends that didn't go and make them want to go the next time. The problem is that we're forgetting the fundamentals of what professional wrestling was. We're forgetting that those people that watched it would go back and tell other people, and word of mouth got around, and the next time your crowd was big. Mm-hmm. They forgot that the word would go around that this damn heel or heel tag team is coming, and we want to kick their ass, so show up at the show. They forgot about the thing of putting emotion into the job of professional wrestling. And that is the main ingredient when it comes to pro wrestling, is the emotion that the fan has when you walk through that curtain, when you're in that ring, when you're doing a promo, even when you're taking off your freaking jacket, all the way to where he walks to the back. Mm-hmm. We have forgotten what that fundamental sound is. We have forgotten what brought us to this dance in the first place. Even though I love Tully Blanchard, and I hate using him as an example, but I got to because it's the most effective thing you do. I love Tully Blanchard. He was a technical genius. That man could do so many moves on Earth that was just like, wow. But at the end of the day, who did I really want to see? Was it Tully Blanchard or Ric Flair? It was Ric Flair. Why? Because he got me emotionally involved. He was damn good in the ring too. But his emotional involvement in that ring made him surpass others that had talent in that ring. Mm. The reason I have a problem with AEW and the Young Bucks and Whack Perry and Hang Lady Page and whoever else in the elite that follows them. They do not understand the point of having emotions involved when you watch professional wrestling. They think because they can do a triple Indy and land on their toenail, that is supposed to be professional wrestling, and the athleticism should overcome anything that you can say on the mic, that they believe anybody can talk trash on the mic and blah, blah, blah. Well, if you haven't been Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles lately, I think all of us can see that they can't do it. They can't cut a promo. They can't have a person emotionally invested. And that is the hardest thing to do when you walk through that. Me, myself, when I did pro wrestling, I wasn't the most talented guy in the world. I couldn't do any super cool moves. But guess what? The crowd was emotionally invested. From the time I walked out that ring, out to the ring, the time I walked back. And that's why I got so popular. That's why I think the opportunity, because you got to get those opportunities. And I think, WCWO, and I think, Chris, and NWP, and especially Rock and Cade for giving me the platform to display that I can get these guys emotionally invested. It is a key thing you can do throughout a wrestling match. It is the essential thing you must do throughout a wrestling match. And unfortunately, we're losing that art.
Well, I don't disagree with what you say. I think that we do need I don't know whether it's a change in the actual business or whether it's a change in the audience itself because of kayfabe's demise. It's hard to judge because as much as older fans act like traditional fans every once in a while, we have kind of become like critics watching a play. And we judge it based on performance more than we do emotion. And maybe that is something that needs to change within the fan base and not necessarily the business first. And
Let me say this. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, and I mean, I appreciate what you're saying and that promos and emotional investment have to be part of the professional wrestling business because that's what brings people to the dance. I agree with that part. What WWE tends to get wrong, at least for the last 10, 15 years, is that they care more about that than delivering in the ring. Because to my mind, what good is an elaborate feud if it leads to a crappy match inside the ring? That doesn't mean that a good match has to involve all kinds of aerial tactics, triple lendings. Not every match has to be a spot fest. There are damn good, like for instance, Cody versus Gunther at Crown Jewel. That was an excellent example of a match that did not need to be a spot fest. That was a spot on old school match that was fantastic. And when WWE does it right, they do it damn well. It's just that when they do it wrong, like the first match at Crown Jewel, when they do these slow, plodding, all sizzle, no steak matches where the end product of all the promos and backstage fights and feud and all of that emotional investment ends up in a pile of steaming dog shit in the middle of the ring. That's the part I can't stand. And that's why I defend AEW, because as much as they fuck up storylines, and they do, you're right about that. They fuck up storylines. They don't emotionally invest in half the matches they put on, but they deliver in the ring. That's why it's like two sides of the opposite coin to me. AEW and WWE have equal but opposite problems, and that has not changed yet. Maybe Full Gear will change that. I don't know.
Marcus?
I mean, I went first.
You
Yeah,
did, but do you have anything to add? We enjoy your insight.
Oh no. I mean, it's just. I mean, it's going back to the question. It's you know, the promos are very important, as we already know, and that's what's lacking in AEW, and which you don't get really. That's where the TV comes in mostly, whether it's today or especially back in the day, like with the TBS shows and things like that. You know, and that's always going to be a big thing. Like you said, it gets you involved emotionally, especially a good promo always can. Because like as a fan, I can feel it when a wrestler is speaking from the heart and they're basically reading from a teleprompter. You can definitely feel it. So that's why again the TV is going to be way more important than the live shows, especially nowadays.
Okay, here's a follow-up question for both you guys. I am curious. Which would you rather have as a format for a studio wrestling program? Would you rather have primetime wrestling with a two-man desk going, like hosting it and having clips to update everybody with a big feature match at the end? Or would you rather have the NWA Jim Crockett thing, hour and a half, where you do a bunch of squash matches interrupted by interviews and then have a big like brawl at the end? Which format would you prefer?
Wow.
Because we grew up with both.
Exactly. That's a good question.
I gotta answer that one though. I'll wait till Marcus go.
Okay, go ahead, Marcus.
See, I'm going to tell you. I think I would rather have the old TBS format, because it relies more heavily on promos, and I would get excited, like for example, like when they will have a TV title match, Arn Anderson versus Ron Garvin. I got to see that on TV. That excited me. And I got excited. I would beg my father to take me to the UIC Pavilion when NWA was coming to town, or the Rosemont Horizon. That excited me. That made me want to get the wrestling magazines to see what happened in Atlanta, what happened in Baltimore, because they would have the results of the house show cards on there. And that's like one of the periods where I really, really enjoyed wrestling back then. I think for me, prime time, watching a mid card match at Madison Square Garden wasn't quite. I mean, I liked it, but wasn't quite the same for me. So I think for me, the TBS format.
Okay, Bobby.
You're gonna laugh when I say this, but I think there's a platform where not only the two that you talked about can be done at the same time, but also this modern era can be done at the same time with everything mixed. I think there should be to where you have competitive matches. I think you should have 1 or 2 squash matches. I think you should have promos. You know what I'm saying? And it can be done in a 3-hour span to where it all flows right and it makes sense. I think all 3 elements are needed into a proper, productive pro wrestling show. You can. It's gonna take a talented ass fucking booker to be able to book something like that, because you have to make it a wave. You know, have people get excited all the way to this point, bring them back down, and make them excited for the climax of the show. You need really talented people to do that too. WWE in their greed, they have actually have the staff to do it. Unfortunately, AEW doesn't. AEW had too many people that hangs with that clique and will ruin something like that. I'm not saying it because I don't like AEW, because I do like AEW. Yeah, right there, I said it. I like AEW. I think it has a lot of potential. They just have people that are wrong. That's the trouble. So, I think if they got rid of those people and went to a certain format, they would give WWE a run for their money. But you have to remember, and I've said this, I don't know how many times throughout this program, I've said it to you, Rob, I've said it to Tony, you cannot forget the fundamentals of what you're doing. I don't care if it's dishwashing, if you're laying bricks, if you're pooping on somebody's head when you're having sex with them, like McMahon.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus.
I mean, but seriously, you cannot forget the fundamentals of what made you get to where you are and to further that business. You cannot forget the fundamentals at all. You can't cut one of them out without the other. You can't sit up there and try to develop something and downplay the other elements, because it's like a cake. You got flour, you got water, you got sugar, you got eggs. Without eggs, it comes out flat. Without sugar, it doesn't come sweet. Without water, it can't form. It can't be liquefied and formed into the mix that you want to make a cake. And flour, it doesn't stay together whatsoever. You got to have those fundamentals there so that cake can be a cake. And unfortunately, with these TV deals and things of that nature, I really worry about the state of pro wrestling right now.
Well, before I go on here and piggyback off that, Bobby, are either Ty or Tony back in the queue?
I don't know where they at. Forget them. Let's go.
Okay. First of all, Merry Christmas, because I think that your dream is going to come true. The Young Bucks have stepped away from TV, at least for the foreseeable future. I really don't think that Jack Perry is going to keep the TBS title, and that he may be on his way down the card. And I think that the Elite are finally losing ground in an influence in AEW, and that may be the turning point that you're looking for, and that may start at Full Gear next week. Now, I realize that you're not optimistic about that possibility, but I'm just putting it out there. for my taste, and this is just my personal preference, I really liked primetime wrestling. Monsoon and Heenan were damn good co-hosts for that show. And before the advent of Monday Night Raw, that was a weekly feature on Monday nights that you could see the whole spectrum of the WWF. They showed house show matches from MSG, Boston Garden, Philly Spectrum. They showed jobber matches from Superstars and Wrestling Challenge, and they did all manner of promos and like updates and storylines that you knew everything that was happening in WWF back then in the 2-hour span of primetime wrestling. And as much as I enjoyed the studio shows that TBS did for the NWA 605 Live, I mean, I grew up on prime time, and just Monsoon and Heenan in the middle of that shitstorm was just it was just something that I found so appealing. In fact, in 1993, I was pissed off when Monday Night Raw debuted, because that was not the format I wanted them to keep. It turns out that I was wrong, as usual. It's Robert Black against the world, but I would love somebody somewhere, maybe us, to try that format sometime and see if we could make something out of it, and make prime time great again. Pardon the phrasing, but yeah, I mean, we're pretty much on the same page, just on the opposite sides of the coin, Bobby. And I think that will bring us to our last order of business today, which is the question, is pro wrestling pricing out its fan base when it comes to live attendance? Bobby, you brought this up as your tap out moment, so I'm going to let you go first as it pertains to Lucas Oil Stadium and the Royal Rumble coming up in February. Please enlighten us.
Well, as everybody knows, I try to go ahead and I try to do things to where we get a group of guys, we get a suite, we watch the show, we have a good time, we hang out with each other just to have camaraderie. Wrestling fans coming together, enjoying something that we love. This was ruined by Lucas Oil Stadium. This was ruined by TKO.
Okay.
The suites right now are being used, and in my opinion, as a price gouging. If you don't kiss up to somebody, and you know somebody in certain places, which I know somebody that did get a suite that, yeah, anyway. They sold half of those suites for $2,000 a seat.
Damn.
The other part is where the tickets at first, nosebleed seats, were $600 a piece.
You have to be kidding.
Not kidding at all.
Oh my God.
Now, they did go down, and now it's $600 for 2 tickets. But the thing that bothers me is this. If there's a way to get that suite, there's a way for all us to pull our money together and go ahead and get that play. Why stop us? You have more fans in the building. You have more eyes on your product. But now you're trying to make it to where when pro wrestling, again, the fundamentals, and this is where I think corporate is messing up. They're forgetting the fundamentals. Because the fundamentals was in places where it was low income, didn't have that much money, but they come to a wrestling show and watch them clown on wrestling. And now it's being portrayed and trying to be put forth as a rich man sport. Pay $8,000 to get a back row so you can see it. Pay $100,000 to see it in the front row. This is where companies fail because they get greedy. This has turned me off. I knew about this since August, I think it was. Was it July or August I was talking about them coming?
I believe it was July.
You know, because I worked at a place where I was involved in a lot of stuff to do about trips and things coming here.
Yeah, it wasn't long after SummerSlam. Maybe I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks after SummerSlam that you guys were talking about Rumble. It wasn't too long after it was announced in Indy.
That would have been September. It was right before SummerSlam. It was right before SummerSlam when they was initially talking about it, and then the official word came out during SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed because out of all the things McMahon did, that was one of the things McMahon did that was right. He made sure that them prices was available so everybody could come see it. He did that. That was nobody but him. Unfortunately, now TKO's in charge. And this is what you go from a wrestling owner to a corporate owner who just cares about their bottom line and don't care if you fall off that line because they believe they can make 10 times the profit somewhere else. Which sucks because a lot of the people that like the product is going to miss out on the product because they can't go to it. It sucks. We're living in an age where you have one federation that has the potential to clown and take over things of that nature. And you have the other one that's just being greedy as hell. This is why I wish I was in charge of AEW. Because you know the first thing I would do? I fired the Young Bucks. That'd be the first thing. But other than that, you know what I do?
Half the ticket prices.
I drop my ticket prices.
Yep.
I slash them into half. Reason being is you can't afford to go to WWE. Guess what? You can afford to get into my building. Let me see you when we get there.
Yeah.
You take more of the market share of doing that than you would trying to raise prices to get rich people. Second of all, why the hell do you have the quality of people that you do and you don't use them? Learn your people. And that's another failure AEW does, is they're listening to the wrong people. I don't care what the fuck Moxley did. Moxley ain't that man to run a show. Moxley needs to go on somewhere and eat some cheeseburgers somewhere and leave the fuck alone. I'm looking at everything and well, Moxley's the champion. I don't give a fuck. He ain't been in business. I've helped run businesses, so I can talk. My thing is, we really need to take a look. And we really need to start supporting these pro wrestling businesses that not only have a good price for us to go and to bring our kids, to bring our grandkids, and to bring our significant others, to bring our friends, and we all hang out, we drink a beer. Some of them might go to the boat and smoke a blunt and come back and clown. You know, tell you what I do with it. Anyway,
YouTube, don't throw us off. We're not encouraging, we're just speculating.
But my thing is, we need to really and honestly support those federations and programs that not only give us a more cost-efficient way of watching wrestling, but also give us good quality wrestling. And I don't mean good quality wrestling in the ring. I mean overall, how they treat their wrestlers, how they act towards the fans. All of these fundamental principles that should be done. Will we have it? Who knows? I'm hoping we do. That's my take on it.
Marcus, what do you have to add to that?
I mean, I totally agree. I think that that's part of the reason why they don't really run house shows anymore, because the tickets cost too much for most of us know now that these are the main event matches, are practice matches for the pay-per-views, and there's no storylines are going to progress. So why are we paying hundreds of dollars for that? And for me, before you guys came to Chicago for Forbidden Door, I hadn't been to a show in years, because I was like, the main reason I had stopped going to live shows, which I had done all the time on a regular basis, is because I'm not paying hundreds of dollars to watch the big screen. I refuse to do it, because that's all I can afford mostly. That's why I was so surprised that the tickets for Forbidden Door were for the decent seats that we had. But I mean, you can't afford to take yourself and your son, your grandson, or whatever, which to me eventually is going to hurt the business, because it's kind of like baseball. The demographics aren't getting younger. At some point in time, we're all going to be dead. Going to be dead at some point. Who's is a younger generation going to keep watching wrestling? Well, we'll see. But right now, I mean, I wouldn't take my little godson to watch wrestling right now, because I couldn't afford it. It cost too damn much. And I think that's what wrestling was built on. You had the little old ladies in the front row who had the same ticket every week. You had fathers bringing their sons, and in some cases bringing their daughters, and they grew up and did the same. That's how wrestling has been maintained for over 100 years. And I'm really afraid with the price of these tickets that eventually it's gonna go away. I mean, I think they're okay for now, but I mean, you look in the next 10, 20 years, with the economy not getting better, it's, I'm not going to pay $800 to take me and my godson to watch the giant screen. I will sit there. We'll sit there from my big screen at my house, and we'll watch it on TV for free.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think this is a bigger problem than just professional wrestling, because a lot of sports and entertainment events all across this country they're not gouging necessarily, but they are taking advantage of niche audiences. Because professional wrestling, as an example, is a subculture. There's only maybe 5 to 7 million people all around the world who are wrestling fans. And WWE and TKO know that, and they want to get as much bang for their buck out of every single viewer and attendance taker as they possibly can. And it is unsustainable in a world where you can just watch something on TV for 10 times less the price, and you're going to end up with the same problem, because the attendance problem, the declining attendance, is not just an AEW problem. It's happening to WWE too, and it's because of the outrageous prices. And it's not just that they're pricing out their audience, it's that they're trying to get their profit too quickly. They don't want to get it accumulated over time. They want it now. I mean, for a recent example, Lucas Oil had Taylor Swift back at the beginning of this month. I heard rumor, and thank God I wasn't part of this, but they were selling like floor space for that damn concert for like $18,000 a pop.
Wow.
And it's mostly teenage and 20-something girls going to this thing, getting that money for their families who aren't even going to the son of a bitch. And that's just for Taylor Swift and for a concert with songs that you could hear on the goddamn radio for free. Now, that's a problem across the whole spectrum. It's not just the problem of taking advantage of a limited audience and trying to soak them for every dime you can get. It's about trying to make your profit as quickly as humanly possible because the corporate suit doesn't want to wait for it. They don't want to cultivate an audience. And to give props to what Bobby is saying and making the point that Jim Cornette has made on several occasions, is that the Mid-South Coliseum had more people come in the 70s over time than Madison Square Garden had in their boom period by smaller ticket prices on a consistent basis week to week instead of huge prices for huge events month to month. And that was how the wrestling business used to work. You guys are both right about that. Can we go back to that format? Maybe not for WWE or AEW or for New Japan or any of those guys, maybe not. Their business model is now baked in the cake, especially for WWE, because their prices are going to go up as their audience goes down. They're going to soak the subculture for as much as they can get. But Bobby does make an interesting point. Support your local wrestling promotion, because you can get a ringside seat for $20 and you can get the best damn wrestling and you can see the future coming for an independent promotion like WCWO, like Circle 10 down in Brazil, Signal 10 down in Brazil, like Hybrid in Terre Haute, and like DCCW in Muncie. Just
War Wrestling in Ohio.
Exactly. 01 USA out in Illinois. All of those guys. I mean, even MLW in Chicago, Freelance in Chicago, Black Label Pro. Support your local promotion, because those wrestling companies in particular have great talents, and they have former AEW and WWE stars that go to that promotion that have a name and need to make a living, and they don't have outrageous prices. They don't gouge you. And their action is just as intense and sometimes even more so and even more old school than what you'll see on TV. So bottom line, if you can't afford to go to the Royal Rumble on February 1st, then damn it, go to WrestleArt 20 and see their show for $15 a pop, and you'll still get the wrestling that you deserve and the way that you like it.
Boy, close
Now,
that, Rob.
Now, on that note, I think that we have run out of time for this edition of FTW Future Focus. I don't know what happened to Tony Motown Allen and Ty Nickerson, the Tigress. They took off early. I guess something happened to where they couldn't get back into the studio, but thanks to them, and especially to Marvelous Marcus Buckley and to the mastermind Bobby Rogers. This is your not so humble correspondent Robert Black saying so long, everybody. We will definitely see you in the future. See us next week, and hit that J.
Hit it. Oh, how you feel, brother? Feeling good. You feel good? Feeling good. It's groovy. There's so much bone, brother. How you feel, man? I feel all right. I call your name. I don't want no people to know you're in here. How you feel, fella? Hey, Jam. Sure getting down. Look at him. Ha. We're gonna have a funky good time. 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 Let's take 'em up, Fred. We gotta take you high. Yeah. Ow. All right. You wanna do it again? You wanna do it again, huh? Yeah, let's do it one more time. We gotta take